Hi, in this video we're going to look at fractions and percentages, how to recognise some common fractions as percentages and vice versa, and how to convert a fraction to a percentage as well. So in some of my other videos I've already explained what a percentage is, and I've also looked at how to make equivalent fractions. You need to know how to do both of those things and what those are to be able to do the next step. So we're going to start by just looking at some tenths to begin with. If you have 1/10, then to work out what that is as a percentage, then you need to change that to a fraction over 100. So this is where your equivalent fractions knowledge comes into this. 10 to get to 100 needs to be multiplied by 10. So if you're doing that to the bottom, your denominator, you need to do that to your numerator on the top as well. So 1 times 10 is 10. So 1/10 is the same as 10 over 100. So written as a percent is 10%. Now that's a really important thing to remember. 10% is the same as a tenth. So if you're asked to find 10% of something, you just need to divide by 10 because it is the same as 1/10. Now that is the same for all the tenths numbers. So I'll do another couple of examples of those. 3/10. Change to hundredths, so you multiply by 10, so you do the same to the top. So 3/10 is 30%. 7/10, we know we multiply by 10 to get to 100, so we'll multiply the top by 10. So it's 70 over 100, so it is 70%. There you go. Let's think about what a half is as a percentage. Well, to change 2 to 100, it needs to be multiplied by 50. 50 and 50 would make 100. So 2 times 50. So you need to do the same to the top. 1 times 50 is 50. So a half is the same as 50%. 50% means a half. We're now going to look at quarters. Quarters are also really common as percentages, so it's really important to know what those are. If you're going to multiply 4 by something, to get to 100, it's one of those really special numbers that I keep saying we should remember. 25, 50, 75, 100. 25, 50, 75, 100. So there are 4 25s in 100. 4 times 25 is 100. So 1 times 25 is 25. So a quarter is the same as 25%. 25% is a quarter. So with that one, you could also do 3/4. We know to multiply that by 25 to get to 100. So we do the same to the top. 3 25s, 25, 50, 75. So 3/4 is 75%. Is a good one to try and remember that if you ever see the percentage 75%, it means 3/4, and that's why. Another fraction to think about carefully with percentages is thirds. Now thirds can't be made into exact whole number percentages. However, they're often rounded to the nearest thing, and I'm going to show you why in a couple of different ways. So here's 1/3, 1 over 3. Now, as I just said, 3 cannot be multiplied by anything to make it 100, but it can be multiplied by 33 to make it 99. 33 and another 33 would be 66, and another 33 would be 99. Do the same to the top, and you get 33 out of 99. Now that is very close to 33 over 100. It's just that it's into 99 parts instead. So quite often, a third is known as 33%. And I'm going to show you why as another way. Now, a fraction is also another way of doing a division. So 1/3 can also be thought of as 1 . Now, if you look at this as a bus stop division, 1 divided by 3, you can't do that. So you write 0. You then put your decimal point and you're going to look at the parts beyond that. And so you add a 0 into your tenths place and you carry your 1 forward that you've not been able to divide with yet. 10 divided by 3, well, there's 3 3's in 10. 3, 6, 9. But you still have 1 left over. And so 3 into 10, it goes 3 times with 1 left over. And as you can see here, all that's going to happen is it's going to keep continuing. And if you have a continuing decimal like this, you can put a dot above the 3 to show that that 3 is just going to continue. Now 0.333333 is written like that as a decimal. Now that is 33 hundredths, which is 33%. So it's not exact, but it's the closest you're going to get. As 1/3 is as close to 33% as you're going to get. So if 1/3 is 33%, then 2/3, it's all just doubled. It's 2 of everything we have up here. It's 0.66. 2 33s are 66. So it's 66%. Again, it's not exact, but it's as close as you're going to get when you're converting thirds to percentages. Okay, let's look at fifths and what they would convert to as percentages. If you've got 1/5, to change that into a fraction over 100, you're going to multiply that by 20. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. You can use your 2 times table there as well. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And then you do add a 0 onto the end of all those numbers. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. There's 5 20s and 100. So you do the same to the top. 1/5 is 20 over 100, which is 20%. So the rest of your fifths, 2/5 multiplied by 20, so 2 20s are 40. So that equals 40%. The last fractions I'm going to look at here are 20ths. So let's look at what 1/20th is. To get 20 to 100, to make 20 100, you've got to multiply it by 5. So you do the same to the top. 1 times 5 is 5. So 1/20th is equivalent to 5 hundredths, which is a percentage, is 5%. So if you were to have something like 7/20ths, well, you multiply your bottom by 5, so you do the same to the top. 7 times 5 is 35, which equals 35%. It's really important to be able to convert your fractions into decimals and into percentages, and to recognise common percentages as fractions. Because if you're asked to find 25% of something, you should then know that that's the same as a quarter, so you half and half again, or do something equivalent to that to find a quarter. If you see find 50%, you should recognise that as a half. So it's really important that you start to recognise quite quickly what some of these percentages are equivalent to as fractions. Just keep practicing and seeing how you get on. If you've got any questions, don't forget, please just ask.